Hi Scorpio, welcome to your reading. Happy birthday to those Scorpios out there. I hope that if you've already had a birthday or your birthday is yet to come, that you have an amazing time. All information before we get into the reading to work with me one-on-one is below. The Patreon link is below, and that's an extended version where we get more in depth into the cards. There are looks at that. I do let them out for free on YouTube. Some of them, the Scorpio one from October is out. I'll put the one from November out shortly. But that is in the Patreon link, the first link below, where we get a lot more in depth for a general reading, especially love, money, health, wealth, the body, if that really does come out through the arcanas, and different ways to work with me is on my website. So please take a look at that when you get a chance. Like, subscribe, send this to a friend, to a member of your coven, whatever. Especially this month. And let's get started. Ooh, right away. Right away, Scorpio. Knight of Swords. This month, right away, your season brings you, you've been waiting for it. Whether, not like, for those of you who love astrology, yeah. But like for those of you who are, yeah, I could give or take, you know, that stuff. It's just when it comes around this time of year, it's almost like you, especially this year, if you're someone who's been taking care of shit, even after, if it piles up for a while, but you feel good, you feel refreshed, you feel inspired, right? The World card is saying there is a cycle ending, there is something beginning. We've been talking about that forever. But this one has to do with a certain Knight of Swords mentality. Something, whatever's inspiring you right now, for those of you looking to go in a different direction, not realizing it, but something coming up and that's a different direction that you feel like going in, or you just feel this mental rush. We'll go to the negatives and positives, but the positives are that this is the month, this is the World card. I see that as a portal sometimes, and it's a fixed portal. The fixed portal, because of the fixed signs, so the fixed signs symbolism is on all the corners of the world, right? So that's, to me, like a fixed portal. What does that mean? The way that I see it is that when you go through this, it will last a certain amount of time. This will be, you know, the world's in an oval, but the signs make out a square, and squares can be times of learning. So because I'm seeing it that way, this could be a really big time of learning, and learning how and where to put this mental energy, this rush of energy. You may want to put it out there in a different way. This month may be a portal for you in another direction in your life, or re-inspired perhaps for some of you. I'm just reading some of the notes. Hanged Man. Yeah, a lot of mental energy already. You might be digesting some things too. This portal, this time, maybe the inspiration allows for you the creation, for those of you who are in your creative process right now or wanting to create something new. This could be about something that you've been digesting for a while, whether it's like the decision that you're making, the inspiration that you're feeling. What may come along with it is this contemplation. Temperance. You might find yourself daydreaming. You may find yourself wanting to be more in meditation, or doing something that is passively creating your future. On the other hand, for some of you, this is about realizing this might be a emotional digestion, that wherever in your life that you really do need to address something physically, the reason you may have been resistant to it before is because you may have wanted it to be quicker than it is. Temperance just tempering the emotions, I think is really just telling you that it's right now, it's leading you to being patient with yourself. What I have discovered personally is that patience is not waiting. It's an energy that you tap into in order to notice that time, just notice what time really does. That when you're waiting, what do you do while you're waiting? What's the difference between that and patience? Temperance is helping you discover this through whatever you're especially emotionally digesting that is affecting you physically, especially if it's in your mental health. This inspiration to maybe focus on your health or your emotional health or both. They may correlate very much so, which it can for you a lot. It's about this, there might be some purity behind it, pure thought behind it. The inspiration may bring you to an emotion that helps allow for it to be the catalyst of where you have maybe been stuck in your mind. How many times can you do the same thing to try to heal something and it just not work? We know what the definition of that is, but it's maybe it is that, but it's how you're approaching it. Like, what is the intention? Because there is some truth behind that. Like, what is the intention behind what you're doing, anything that you're doing, you know? And that really does play out in how you hold and carry things, how you're able to digest within yourself, within your mind. And maybe you're taking in a lot at this time. Could be. For those of you who need and are being guided to spend some time alone to properly digest some things, I would. It doesn't look like rushing to anything is helping you. Using that energy not to just, it's very much like the Knight of Swords is like, yes, you may be acting upon it, but it's in a way where it's for your mental health. You're no longer stuck. You are just allowing for the right time to be presented. It's for those of you too, it's harnessing some psychic skills as well, and your emotions, and like harnessing your emotions and allowing yourself to digest what and process is a part of that path. Maybe get yourself some cards, maybe get yourself something that where you can be very intuitive and it is a practice for you, and you learn your biases, you learn how to become unbiased, you learn in all areas of your life. Like, you can really want something, and you do manifest really well because you feel that feel that emotion fully, the end. So whatever it is that you're resistant to feeling about this healing, I did not mean to rhyme, I would go deeper into that. That's just a suggestion. Or converse with someone you really trust. Even if you don't sound fully confident, there is, or you're unsure fully, but you're still sure of yourself, it's still okay, it's still time, it's still a moment for you to speak up. Yeah, especially if you're feeling, you found where this is like you finding out, you doing what you need to do internally and have the conversation if needed externally in order to speak to yourself in a different way. This is a healing to yourself. This is when you do something that you've been resisting, a lot of the times it will bring some healing to the part of you that was resistant, scared, insecure, avoidant, doubtful, whatever it is. And this is where you begin to explore the deepening of trusting yourself, trusting how you feel, and trusting what you know. Especially if there's someone giving you the same old answer over and over again, or giving you the same, especially if it's about money or about your worth. And in some way, for some of you, could possibly letting this person, for some reason, still define you and define your worth and define like what that looks like for you. And for some reason, you specifically have, or for some of you specifically out there, you have been needing to wait to see. You've had to, for some reason in this healing, you've needed to check all the boxes. It's been really slow moving. And it feels like you've been waiting for some of you. It's almost like you've been waiting for this answer. You've been waiting for this breakthrough. 8 of Swords to 8 of Wands. It may come very fast. It's funny how we don't get to like just pick and choose, but it comes at a time where we need it in order to continue to, meaning the emotional uplifting, meaning the mental and physical change that is the redirection or the next direction or more efficiency. It looks like, Scorpio, whatever the situation you're in, first you're getting out of your own way and you're listening to yourself, and then you are addressing the situation in the way that it's needed to be addressed. For others of you, it may be the last time an Aquarius ever sees you again. Not funny, but like, I know. Or a person who had appeared to be one thing and is showing up differently. You may need to address whatever's moving slow is because it needs you to address things at different angles. There is a cleansing to this process. You're healing the way that you communicate your worth to the world. You're changing what that looks like. It's changing. It goes from slow to quick. And it's because you have, where you were once frustrated, because the Knight of Swords, for those of you, it's frustration. If you find yourself annoyed that you just want things to move or you just want certain things to happen, you find yourself able to be patient in certain times, and in other times you're speaking to the part of you who of course wants control, and you're addressing and you're acknowledging these parts. Instead of being annoyed, you're just acknowledging, like, I understand that a part of me wants to control this right now, but I can't. How can I, and what do I need to know? And maybe the right person, you get the right information, all of a sudden, no matter what the information is, positive or negative, it gets to you. The person who may be delivering it may not be, with the best, but the best words, the best way, the way you would prefer. It doesn't look too pretty, but it causes for you to see something that you weren't seeing. Especially towards the end of the season, not the month. Well, it is the month, but mostly towards the end of the season. So like about the 3rd weekend, something starts to truly shift. Communication, the way you communicate to people and others are shifting. The way you communicate, the way you make money is shifting. You're realizing there's a skill within this. This is like a buildup. You may not understand. You may understand, like, something clicks with you. You feel it, but you may not know exactly where this is going. And it's thus the mystery that is Scorpio season and life somehow. And you're able to address things. You're able to, weirdly enough, if you find yourself feeling like there's so many things you need to address, you address one thing and everything else seems to come together. weirdly enough, the first thing that what you decide to uncover had its energy like tentacles, like spider web, attached to many different outcomes, many different situations, many different people. And it's because you really took the time to process this information. And you were frustrated with how you were going, but it's finding that middle ground. It's allowing the frustration to dissipate. Hi, sweetie. Hi. How you decide to put yourself out there, Scorpio, is spreading you far and wide. It's more vast. Your resources become more vast. Sorry about that. My baby's in heat. Hey, it's okay. It's all right. And because you're addressing what you need to address emotionally, with yourself, physically, things start to change as well for some of you. Especially, again, if you're dealing with someone, if this is a relationship that you're dealing with, whatever you may be, whatever you've been resisting with this frustration to look at, you get brought through to the end of the cycle where you get to reflect and see, if you choose to. You see, especially in a way that something comes together, like it's the obvious middle point of many different things. This emotional, mental, physical, perhaps digestion is expanding your mind, and you realize that you've been maybe afraid to say something, and it's how you've kept you from, it's how you've been sleeping on yourself, how you've been your own fuckboy to an extent. You may have been putting out a certain energy, and it's now time to get very clear with your intentions, because those mixed signals aren't going to work. And that's what clears up any situation. Maybe it's time for you to acknowledge that situation. Maybe that comes from a place where you have to feel and you have to show compassion to. You need strength. You need mental strength so that you can hold your boundaries, so you can continue this forward momentum. By the end of the month, you may see yourself and feel in yourself very connected to the part of you that understands that sometimes things have to go. Sometimes situations need to change. This is where once you let go of control, this passionate fire blooms within you in order to ignite exactly what you need to move on. It becomes what you need as fire and fuel. You become your own fire and fuel because your feelings are powerful. Your intuition is powerful. However, we all have times and parts in our life where maybe we haven't been listening, or we haven't been able to act on it. We feel tired. Life is happening, things you can't control, and then all of a sudden you're set back to a place. You're, for lack of a word, triggered for some of you. But this is about deeply connecting to your mind and taking the time that it needs, the proper amount of time, this space. And then for some of you, it's like really just, I'm just taking business elsewhere. I'm just healing the way what I need to heal. I know what I want from the situation. I keep looking at this card. Ow. After you say what you want, after you say how you feel, now you have to own it. You have to keep doing it. The power is in the momentum for you right now. All right. Yeah, it's the gateway. Something's been disguised. I'm very curious to get into this and how just calm it, like, I like this calm vibe we had today. I wanted to do it right as the sun was setting. This month for you is very much that emotional intelligence being put to use in your own life for the betterment of yourself, coming into your own. We'll talk about where money goes and flows, but usually in this time it's because something that you're connecting to is something that you've always wanted or didn't even know you wanted. You know, it's happening. And it's this feeling where, you know, you just, it's coming back to your power. It's Venus is in Sagittarius as well right now. And you're realizing what connections have aided you and aided your ability to advocate for yourself. Past or present. Or maybe future. You feel it for the future. Someone also may reach out to you. And that unexpectedly, and I'm not saying they're saying something good either way. It's dissolving something. It's making things move. But it's about speaking up for what you deserve, what your needs are. It has to do with standing your ground in that way with money. But like, it's honest with yourself. You're being very honest with yourself, and you're willing to walk this time. Career or love, okay? Excited to get into the next part. Again, happiest birthdays to all of you. All information is below. Meditations are coming out this month. Scorpio meditation will be on YouTube and Patreon.